is about childhood obesity. And obesity usually occurs in children who eat more than they can consume, that their body can consume. Children who tend to eat outside or at restaurants or tend to be more overweight when they don't eat home-cooked meals. One of the problems nowadays with childhood obesity is that children don't get enough physical exercise to burn off the extra calories that they intake per day. So that's one of the problems. BMI is a measurement which compares weight and height. It helps define obesity. Children at or above the 95th percentile of the sex-specific chart of the BMI growth are considered obese. In 1980, children at ages 6 to 11 of obesity was 6.5%. In 2008, it rose to 19.6%. That's a raise of 13.1% in 20 years. As you can see, diabetes, well, this is the chart for diabetes. So diabetes among males of ages 12 to 19 in 1988 was 11.3%. In 2007, it rose to 19.3%. If this trend continues to follow, by 2017, it will be 23.9% of males ages 12 to 19. So, what are the causes? What are the causes of this increasing trend? And does the rising number of fast food restaurants around schools lead to the increasing rate of childhood obesity? Yeah.
In different public debates regarding obesity, it has been brought to attention that the widespread availability of fast food restaurants have an impact in obesity rates. So some research has been done regarding if the availability of fast food restaurants near schools affect the obesity rates in children in those schools, and it has been proven that it does. In a research by the National Bureau of Economic Researches, in which over 3 million students over the course of several years were studied, specifically 9th graders, has been proved that actually the closeness of those fast food restaurants to the schools does have an impact. If there are fast food restaurants around 1/10 of a mile of a school, usually the 1.7% of the increase is related to those fast food restaurants. That adding up to the other fast food restaurants that are within 1/4 of a mile, it would be 5.7. So part of the increases in obesity rates, 5.7 of those increases are related to those fast food restaurants that are near the schools. A strong demand of fast food is usually why the obesity rates in childs is rising. Fast food restaurants usually place their locations where they think people are going to buy them the most, and they usually put them around schools because first, fast food is cheap. Usually scholars do not have much money, they don't work, so it works for them. And they put them specifically close to the schools because usually scholars don't have cars either. They cannot afford driving to a restaurant. So it's very convenient for students to just walk outside of their school and buy a cheap food. And also, it affects scholars the most because usually kids are not aware of the health consequences that fast food has on them. So they don't really have self-control regarding food, they don't really care about it, and they end up buying fast food restaurants. Okay, in this case, it has been proved that the theory that fast food near a school's vicinity does affect the obesity rates. It is not a myth, and I'm gonna continue with Sophia, who's gonna give possible solutions that we came up to decrease the numbers of childhood obesity, the rates. So she's gonna provide you with some possible solutions.
Fast food restaurants have considerably effect on obesity rate among the children. So we came out with a few solutions that will help from growing this problem. First, we should have law proposal that can restrict fast food restaurant near the school. And we already state that the fast food restaurant near the school, it does affect on obesity rate among the children. So obesity rate among the children. So this possible solution can lower the obesity rate among the students. And then fast food restaurant, there shouldn't be any fast food restaurant around 1 mile. Yeah, 1 mile within the school, near the school. Another thing is healthy eating workshop. School should have healthy eating workshop for middle and high school. So that workshop can teach the student how to eat healthy meals, and they should be taught at least once during the academic year. And then it will demonstrate how the scholar, how it affects to eat healthy meals. And it affects on your health and how you look also. Because most of the people care about how they look. Another one is cooking course for high school. High school should have cooking course for the student, because it is proven that if you know how to cook, and you have cooking skills, it is less likely to eat fast food and junk food. Another thing is lunch preparation for workshop for middle school and primary school parents. This workshop should be mandatory for the parents, at least one of the parents of the child, so they can learn how to cook quickly and healthy meal, and they can prepare for their kids.
Any questions?
I got a question. When you say that it's been proved that sort of the existence of fast food restaurants sort of drives up obesity rate, is that, what I'm curious is, how is that proved? Do we have any sense of that? What goes into that?
There have been several researches.
What's the research, what are the studies that take place?
We based the information that we gave you today on a research that was done by the National Bureau of Economic Researches.
Okay.
They did this research in California, where they studied kids from a public school over 6 years, I think it was. It was about 3 million students. There were several public schools.
Okay.
And they did like BMI measurements at the beginning and at the end of the school years, during those years. And they started by a tenth of a mile of they made surveys of the students who went to those restaurants that were located within a tenth of a mile from the school. Okay. Then they added all the other restaurants that were within a quarter of a mile, and they came up that it does impact from the students who do eat at those restaurants have been increasing. So it was proven. Actually, there are several researches. They're always debated on it, whether it affects or not, but there are more pros and cons. So it's usually yes and no.
Yeah, she did conclude that there was an impact of fast food restaurants, but her conclusion was tempered by all the other factors that could have also contributed. But I think Leah's right. She did say we can almost conclusively say that it's because of the proliferation of fast food restaurants, a tenth of a mile, only the closest ones. Yeah. Because that's where the kids can walk.
And usually 1.7% is of the increase of obesity in school children is due to those fast food restaurants, because they used to do service during the research. They had the kids fill out surveys whether or not they eat at those restaurants, how frequently they did. So yeah, they came up that 1.7 approximately of those increases were due to those fast food restaurants that were that near to the school.
Yes, You have a question,
No,
Shane?
go ahead.
Does anyone have any questions?
No.
What do you think about the suggestion of introducing cooking courses in high school?
I'll tell a story.
I don't think.
When I was your age, when I was in high school, I was younger than you, I actually took a course in home economics.
Me too.
Yeah, it was part of what went down then. It was sort of a, it wasn't a whole year. It was, you know, there was home economics, and there were several other things. I can't remember
Right, there was
now.
sewing,
Maybe it was sewing. I
there
don't
was sewing,
remember
there
that.
was cooking, and there was a woodworking, a workshop.
Yes, I think that was industrial arts as a
Industrial arts, right?
Yeah, but these things were sort of quartered. But I don't remember home economics. I remember sort of, you know, making a mess out of meatloaf. But I remember, yeah, having some cooking lessons.
Anything else?
No questions?
Questions?
Okay, thank you.